This is a 2019 bald-faced hornet nest, and today I'm going to give you a tour. This hornet nest is brought to us by Mother Nature, and what happens with these at the end of a previous season, all of the nest dies out. They send out some queens to go hibernate over winter, and in the spring, April or May in my part of Ohio, those queens start these nests completely from scratch. Now we're here July 27th, so that's quite a while since April or May, as you can do the math yourself. And what happens, that queen builds pretty slowly. They build these out of paper. They chew up wood pulp and mix it with their saliva and secrete it as a paper. So it takes a very long time for that queen to get it built to any size. And by about early July, she gets enough workers in there to help her with it, so that way they grow pretty quickly. So I'm going to take you on a tour of this nest, and at the end I'm going to give it a bug score. I'm going to show you its quirks and features. Now, one of the first quirks of these hornets' nests is on the very top of it. You can see there's little tiny ridge vents. And that is what makes it different from a yellow jacket nest. Anatomically, these are sisters to yellow jackets. Technically, they're yellow jackets. They're not even technically hornets, but we call them bald-faced hornets because they're not yellow. Otherwise, they'd be yellow jackets. Second, they always have this hole around the bottom of the nest, and they always build it by putting a new layer of paper on the outside, chewing out the inside, and then leaving more comb. Don't know why I said it with an N there. And what makes these different from a typical paper wasp is these will build in multiple layers. Now these guys can sting repeatedly, and they're very dangerous. So a lot of people die from getting stung by these because they can sting repeatedly. They're very aggressive. For that reason, I'll give them a score of aggressiveness, a 10 out of 10. In terms of usefulness to nature, they are predators. They eat other insects, including mosquitoes. They keep your other insect populations fairly low, but they don't pollinate. And because they don't pollinate, they get a score of 5 out of 10. Now, cool factor, these nests are certainly cool. You can see the intricate design of the paper. They certainly look a little bit like a work of art. For that reason, they get a 6 out of 10 for a total bug score of 21 out of 30. So what we're going to do, as they're getting a little aggressive, I'm going to now spray them with this powder, which you can use any time of day. That's the nice thing about using a powder. And then I will completely remove this nest and leave a coating behind for the ones out getting food. Now, taking a step back, you can see how they are flying all over that nest. Of course, the one, and I use a dust. A lot of people think I use a smoke. It's actually a pesticide, and it doesn't work fast enough for the 5 minutes or so that these videos last, but anything with a little bit of dust on it will be taken care of within a matter of hours. Actually, a matter of minutes on the ones that really got it on them. Now, what makes these so dangerous, and what will happen here, a lot of times people will be trimming shrubs, and these nests are hidden in there. You can see it's camouflaged pretty well, and people get surprised when they get stung. Suddenly they have a few of them coming out after them, and they can really do some damage to a person. You know, for some people, 30 or 40 stings will kill you. In fact, I just saw an article that the number of people who have died from bee stings and hornet and wasp stings is at the highest since 2005. A lot of those people are men, as the ladies can attest. Men like to take unnecessary risks. They go out and try and take care of these themselves. And You know, whenever you don't know what you're doing, you know, you really are supposed to leave this up to a professional. Because they'll go in there and they'll get close to the nest to start spraying, and as you can see, they come out after you. Now, I'm wearing a suit here. I get stung sometimes, but for the millions of these that I handle a year, and then individual bees, I mean, in terms of a nest, I'll get 1,000 of them in a year. I really don't get stung that often for how many I handle. Of course, I use old grocery bags because I like to recycle them. I try to be pretty environmentally conscious with this. And a grocery bag is a single-use plastic. I know that I can use them here and at least give them a little bit of a second life. So I try to do that to maintain some environmental friendliness. So if anyone is ever using us for a job and has some extra bags, we're always willing to take them. And this is a liquid pyrethrin that I'm leaving here. It's a sort of industrial strength version of Ortho Home Defense, and that dries into a powder. And that's for the ones out getting food or the ones who weren't hit with the dust. It's their instinct to come back and rebuild their nest. And by leaving that behind, when they come to try and rebuild that nest, they get into this liquid that I'm leaving, and it'll dry into a powder, so it'll be a powder by the time they really get into it. And when they start to rebuild that nest, it takes care of them. So that's sort of it. It's a pretty straightforward procedure. Basically, find the nest, dust it, pull it down, and leave a coating behind for the ones out getting food. You know, the job isn't hard, but it is dangerous. That's why it can be hard to get people to do this job, but I certainly enjoy it. It's good for your adrenaline. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe for more like it. Thank you.